Well, hello, everyone. It's a Monday morning, which means Taryn and I are meeting to talk about Florida Christian Writers Conference 2024. Yes, that's right. I am Eva Marie Everson, the director of Florida Christian Writers Conference, and my favorite sidekick is,
I'm
I don't
yeah,
know where.
you're on my left, so maybe I don't know.
You're on my left.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We're both. I'm basically in your lap then, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm Terrence Scooters, and I am the co-director of the Florida Christian Writers Conference.
She is, and she is excellent at her job. So today, it's going to be short today, which probably cheers around the world are being heard, but it's going to be very short because we're just going to talk about Saturday night. And we always like to talk about, well, we're going to talk about Saturday dinner first because we always give a warning to people about dinner on Saturday night. Like, don't overdo the desserts
Right.
because we have the dessert banquet after
Mhm.
dinner. So we do have dinner first, just like we always do. And then we go into the big auditorium, which Taryn and her team have been working hard in all afternoon, getting everything set up and making it quite lovely and elegant and beautiful. And there are balloons and all kinds of good things. Yes. And that's where we have our awards ceremony. But we also this year we're going to do something a little bit different.
Yes, we are. And before we talk about what we're going to do different, I want to remind everyone that we get this question every year. Should I dress and then go to dinner? Should I do dinner? What should I do? Totally your call.
Mhm.
We have people that dress up and then go to dinner, and then we have people who are like, I always have food
Messy.
on myself. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go to dinner first, and then I'm going to get dressed because some people
Yes.
like to dress up. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
keep in mind.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. And you don't have to dress up, but a lot of people like to. They like to make this real special, especially if you have entered the contest and you're hoping that your name will be called from the stage. You'll be going up front to get your award, have your picture taken by our photographer. You want to look your best. And of course, one of the first things we say is please take off your name tags. Please don't wear your name tags that night because it's just quite tacky. It's just tacky, that's all, just
we
tacky.
don't want tacky.
We don't want tacky at Florida Christian Writers Conference, my goodness. Okay, so yes, you can dress up and go to dinner, or you can go to dinner and rush back to your room and dress up. Choice is yours. Yeah, absolutely. When we do gather, the first thing that we do is go ahead and get our dessert and then find our seats. And people just chat and take photographs and things like that. But again, this year, we're going to have something right before the awards ceremony. And
Yes.
what is that, Miss Taryn?
That is a concert. We have the privilege of bringing in Billy Wayne Arrington, and he is on faculty teaching some continuing classes and some workshops, but he is also just a well-known musician and theatrical person in his own right. But he leads music. I first heard him, and I don't know if this is where you first heard him, at the Asheville Christian Writers Conference.
That's where I first heard him. Yeah.
Okay. And he does just an amazing job. And so we invited him this year. And so he will be doing a concert before the awards ceremony. So you're not going to want to miss that. He's just a
No,
wonderful
no.
performer, and you're gonna really enjoy it.
Yeah, in fact, just this past year, we were listening to him and I just kept thinking, oh my gosh, I'd love to have him come to Florida, not necessarily to lead praise and worship. He does a wonderful job leading praise and worship at the Asheville conference, because we have Linda Shazo and we love her and don't want to see her go anywhere. But it's like, oh man, what can we do to get Billy Wayne? And I remember you and I were actually sitting on the front row, but kind of off to the right just a little bit. And I grabbed your arm and I said, a concert. Because he is quite the showman. He has that theatrical background and he's just such an amazing showman. He also has an amazing testimony. And we've said this before, we'll say it one more time. We heard his testimony while we were in Asheville. And I think, I think this might have been the third time I'd heard Billy Wayne at the Asheville conference, but this was the first time I'd heard his testimony.
Mm.
And I was sobbing. I mean, just had to pull out the handkerchief and the whole 9 yards, just was absolutely sobbing. It is a story of God's love and his redemption and oh, I'm going to cry again, his
Power of
healing
reconciliation.
power. Yes. And the power of reconciliation. And when you look at something and think there's no value in this,
Right.
or there's no hope for this situation, Billy Wayne will tell you his story. I hope, and
He'll change your
share it
mind
with
on that.
us. Yeah, yeah, and it will definitely change your mind on that. And I'm just going to get all weepy all over again. I'm just so grateful that we had this opportunity to get to know him better. And after praise and worship, there was a little bit of break in Asheville, and I jumped up and because he always sits on the first row, but on the far left, we're on the far right. And I slid into the chair next to his and I said, would you like to come to Florida Christian Writers Conference this year for a concert? And he was like, I would love that. So yay, we're so excited. And then we do
Yes.
have our contest, but let's talk about our contest for just a moment because
Uh-huh.
the entries are coming in.
They are,
Yeah.
and they can continue to come in, and I
Yes.
would love to encourage y'all to continue to send them in. We have a deadline, but you still definitely have time. I believe I need to have, I'm checking just to make sure. I think I need to have all the entries sent to me by September 1st.
September 1, I think. Yeah,
I believe
September 1.
so,
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah.
And so, no, September 30th, opposite.
Wow.
So
Okay. Well,
you
that
have
does give people a lot of
a
time.
good chunk of July left,
Yeah,
obviously. We're
yeah,
only a
yeah.
weekend, all of August and all of September.
September. Yeah. So
So
do
if
your
you
best
look,
work.
send us your best.
Mhm.
Make sure that you follow our guidelines that are clearly listed in our online at the website under contest, under Sunshine.
Mhm.
That's our awards, it's the Sunshine Awards. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Every year I have people who need something clarified
Mhm.
because to me it's clear in my head, but that doesn't necessarily mean I have made it clear on screen.
It's
So
Greek to someone else.
right. So if you need some clarification, ask, because
Mhm.
I would rather take the time and email you some clarification than to have to disqualify your piece because you didn't follow the guidelines.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and but and I know a lot of people think, oh, I'm just going to wait until the last minute.
Mhm.
That can be a great mistake. You and I both head up the SALA Awards, and we have seen what happens every year when people wait until that last minute and they don't get the awards or they don't get their application in time, or there is an issue, and by the time that issue is solved or even questioned,
Yeah.
it's too late. The cutoff date is there. So maybe set it in your head for September 15th or even September 1st,
Yeah, go
but
with September 1st.
it doesn't hurt to get it in and get that behind you so that you can start working on other things where the conference is concerned. But definitely, we wish the best for all of you in that, and certainly turn in your best work. Another thing that is going to be awarded that night is the Mature Living Contest Award. This is our second year doing this. We are working in tandem with the Lifeway Corporation, specifically Mature Living Magazine. And I think I was going to say, I think I have one sitting right here, but it actually may be somewhere else because Moa was featured last month, or maybe this month. I don't know if it was last. You know how magazines run
This
ahead.
summer, we'll say this
Yeah.
summer.
So it's somewhere in the yeah. So it's a great magazine though, and not because I'm featured in it. Actually, it's Word Weavers that is featured. Yeah, go on. Word Weavers is actually featured, and your predecessor, Mark Hancock, said a line to me several years ago that ended up being the title of this piece, written by Deborah D. Armand, who is our good friend and who has been with us before, but cannot be with us again this year because of some family obligations. But Mark said to me about the conference and about Word Weavers, he said, Eva, this is kingdom work. And it so resonated with me that anytime I want to throw up my hands and just say, I quit, I think about I think about those lines or that line or those words. This is kingdom work. And you know what? That applies to everyone who is listening to this. Anyone who is writing for the Lord, this is kingdom work. Every day when you sit down at your keyboard or your research projects or whatever it is that you have that you're working on, this is kingdom work. This isn't just trivial fluff that will go off into I think about the books you read
Right,
over your lifetime that you can't even find anymore,
right,
that no
right.
one has ever even heard of. You read it in your school library or something, and you remember it, you remember the title and you remember the plot line, and you go back and you look and it's just not there.
Gotta print.
It's just, it's because it was fluff and it was good, but it was still fluff. But this is kingdom work, and it's going to make a difference in the lives of others and in the in the kingdom. So please go to the website. There is information at the website about the contest, and also in our newsletter. We have been keeping you informed about the contest and how it works. If you are not receiving the newsletter, please email us at wordweaversinternational@gmail.com. Let us know that you are not receiving the newsletter and you want to receive the newsletter. We'll make sure that happens. Again,
Yep.
it's all spelled out, wordweaversinternational@gmail.com. Anything
Check
else,
your
Erin?
check your spam first though, because it could be that you are receiving it, but it's being
Yeah.
funneled into your spam. That's the first thing. The second thing, let's say you are attending the conference, maybe you even live in the area and your
Yes.
spouse or your best friend wants to come and attend the awards banquet just to support you. Can they do that? Well, yes, they can.
Yeah.
For $50, they may
Mhm.
come, they may have dinner with
Mhm.
you, they can have dessert with you,
Mhm.
they can come to the banquet, enjoy the concert. So it's a $50 date is what
Yeah,
it is.
that's what it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Which
Yes.
considering inflation these days, that's not bad.
Well, and just so everyone understands, anytime someone comes onto the property for an extended period of time, and what I mean by that is not just long enough to drop something off and then leave, but is actually going to park their car and be there for a minute. We have to pay for you to be there. And of course, if you're eating a meal, we have to pay for that. And then we have to pay for the desserts and we have to pay for everything. So really and truly, we kind of looked at it and said, what does it cost us? And then let's just kind of make it a break even type of thing, because we want you to have your family and friends there with you. But we have to know in advance because there is a guard gate, and so they will have to have your names before you can come onto the property. So, all right, that was 1 and 2. Anything else?
That's 1 and 2. And then the third one, just to
Ah.
reiterate with the contest, there is an entry fee per piece.
Mhm.
There are 2 exclusions to that rule, and that is poetry and devotions. With poetry and with devotions, you
Mhm.
get your entry fee covers 3 pieces.
Right.
So keep that in mind. And if
Yes.
you have any
Yes.
questions, just email us. We'll let you know what
Yeah.
the answer is.
If you submit 3 poems or if you submit 3 devotions, then you do not pay but 1.
Correct.
Right, right. But if you submit 6 poems and 6 devotions, then you have to pay twice. Right.
That's
Okay.
right. That's right.
We know our math.
We do.
Okay. All right. So until next time, we will see you later. This is terrible. This is they totally changed Zoom. Now I can't find the buttons.